Telling real images from fake ones is getting tricky. No, we're not talking about these images you hallucinate to when you forget to take your drugs, or when you listen to too much Joe Rogan and get all excited to try new things. We are talking about photoshopped images that pop in our feed with some crazy-ass stories. Not well-planned college sign. Here's a photo of the front sign of the College of Architecture and Planning that questions their skills in planning, let alone teaching it. This college would definitely win the award of the biggest fail in history, if it was real. But unfortunately for people seeking such epic fails, this picture is photoshopped, and the actual sign is well planned. But I'm not sure about that architecture design though. Perfect lenticular clouds. If you've never seen this picture, then you have been living under a rock. How could you have missed the beauty of these clouds on top of Mount Fuji in Japan? This photo is now the background of millions of screens around the world. But alas, as the video title clearly ruins the surprise, this image is a fake too. The original photo is one layer of cloud, which looks spectacular, but apparently the designer doesn't settle for one layer and decided to add 4 more just to make sure. Behind the scenes of the MGM intro. You'll definitely see an image on every blog, tweet, page, or group of movie enthusiasts and some animal rights groups as well, of this lion being strapped down to record the MGM openings. Although, you can tell at first glance that it doesn't make sense that the cardboard is transparent, or why the lion is being injected with a serum and why the lady is dressed like a nurse. But if you ignore all that, then yes, this image totally makes sense. But it doesn't. This photo was taken from a line in a vet office in Israel, and not in Carol Baskin's basement as some of you would think. A kid sleeping near his deceased parents' graves in Syria. This is a heartbreaking image of a Syrian child sleeping next to the grave of his deceased parents, but here's a question. Does making a point about the cruelty of war justify faking it? Well, yes, this image is fake. It was staged as a part of an art project. The graves aren't really graves, it's a pile of stones, and the orphan's not really an orphan. He's the nephew of the photographers, and the image wasn't even taken in Syria. It was shot in Saudi Arabia, and the sand isn't really sand either, it's actually brown sugar. Okay, that last one was a lie, but you get the point. First dab in history. What would you do in the 20th century after surviving a world war? You dab to show these enemies that you mean business. Make sure to tag them on that photo as well. Although it would have been really cool to see that the first dab was caught back then in World War II, it's actually a picture from the behind the scenes of a 2017 film, Dunkirk. Bear chasing National Geographic photographers. As the saying goes, you don't have to run faster than the bear to get away. You just gotta run faster than the poor sucker next to you. Well, unless the bear is photoshopped. This image was circulated with the title, National Geographic Crews Run for Their Life from a Bear. Yes, this image was easily debunked, since the bear used in it was a free stock photo. If it was paid, that's a totally different story. Einstein riding a bicycle as the atomic bomb explodes. Other than playing the violin, Einstein's favorite hobbies were coming back from the dead, riding his bike, and taking badass images with atomic bombs in the background. It's getting boring to state it, but as you guessed, it's fake. This photograph of the explosion was taken 7 years after Einstein's death, and Einstein's image was taken from one of the most iconic pictures he ever took. Oh no, not this one. Yep, this one. Egypt's Sphinx was blanketed with snow, which was believed to be the first snowfall in North Africa in 112 years. Did they move the Sphinx to Paris, or did they bring the Eiffel Tower to Egypt? Is it one of Rick's crazy machines that shrinks structures, or did the British steal the whole Sphinx to complete their precious historical collection? The truth is, this picture is actually a miniature replica of the Sphinx at the Tobu World Square theme park in Japan. Our dry Mother Earth. If I had $1 for every time someone posted this picture captioned, "The Earth with no water," I would have more money than Qatar's bribe to FIFA to win the World Cup hosting rights in 2022. No one knows where this picture came from, but it's a Reddit sensation that gets debunked on a daily basis. This is how the Earth actually looks like without water. But who wants to see boring pictures like this? And let's talk about those crazy mountains for a second. Have you ever seen a photo of Earth from space?
Smooth.
So next time you see these images online, please, 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 don't waste your time correcting them. Just turn your head and pray that Carol Baskin is feeding that lion.